We are glad to know you're still watching NTV Weekend Edition tonight. Now, yesterday, the Supreme Court ruled against the Bank of Uganda, effectively asking the regulator to return all seized assets to Crane Bank, ending a 6-year court battle. Now, tonight, we want to better understand the implication of this ruling on the banking sector, and we are pleased to have Francis Mahira, who is an economist from Makerere University, to weigh in on the matter and to help respond to some of those questions that we have been seeing on our social media. Very good evening and welcome to NTV Weekend Edition.
Good evening, dear viewers. Good to be here.
Now, when you look at the court ruling, what does this court victory mean for all the victors in the case?
Actually, I take yesterday to be, a very bad day for the taxpayers. You and I and every taxpayer in this country. It was a very bad day for us, and this indicates a bigger problem or challenge we have in this country. You have, institutions, which are full of inefficiencies, and at the end of the day, who pays the cost? It is actually the taxpayer. I'll tell you, as of February 2016, you had over 7 banks which were closed in the same manner, without using the right law, and the shareholders and the owners of these banks actually had money for over 5 trillion shillings, in form of compensation, and here we are. So the challenge is that these mistakes keep on, coming on board, and, there's no one to take the responsibility or be held accountable. And at the end of the day, the taxpayer keeps on paying, this cost. So, but when you look at this specific of, Crane Bank, the central bank of the regulator took over it, in 2016. And there are proper channels how it was supposed to be, done. For example, there's what we call open bank resolution, where the bank can remain under ownership and control of the owners, but when the regulator is, monitoring, that is column A, or where the central bank takes control of this bank and under a statutory management, and under this, the central bank has powers to put everything in order. Let's say hiring new human resource, recapitalizing it. But we saw the central bank hurrying, to sell this Crane Bank. So just in a space of 1 year, the central bank sold Crane Bank to the FCU. So that's what the challenge is. If it had taken some time, it would have maybe solved those issues. And then the other thing you need to ask yourself is, how come that the Crane Bank was doing well 1 year before, and then from nowhere it says, it's filing for bankruptcy? That is also another thing one needs to look at. Because of the inefficiencies we have in these government institutions, someone can easily take advantage, of what is happening. And that's why we saw the same thing in 1998 and 1999. Over 4 banks were closed in the same situation. You have International Credit Bank, Trust Bank, Green Bank, and the Cooperative Bank. And the National Bank, all of them, actually now I'm sure they are motivated also to come back and ask for compensation.
Well, you seem to have also touched on the aspect that most of our people on our social media platforms have been talking about, the fact that taxpayers are the ones that are going to suffer the most. So I think that has been answered for you. But again, we would like to know what impact this court ruling will have on the future of the regulator to maybe shut down or deal with any commercial bank that may have issues here and there. Will it affect the way it operates in a way?
Under normal conditions, the central bank would learn, from these experiences. But we've had the same in the past. Unless it seems...
Has it lost its credibility in a way?
Absolutely, because we've been having the same cases. However, this is something actually the central bank should take serious, or everyone. I mean, we should take it serious because it has, a future and long-term implications. For example, beside the cost that is going to be paid by the taxpayer, we have other implications like, the entire financial system. When, foreign direct investors are looking at what is happening, you have, commercial banks with the central bank, in courts for over 5 years. This deters other foreign direct investors come and invest in our financial sector. Already we have a very small financial sector. It's why one of the reasons why actually interest rate remains high. And we are already doing, the regulator is not doing the job right. And this will deter even other financial, investors, especially offshores, to come and invest here.
Another question that we have observed from social media, of course, with the taxpayer issue coming in, DFCU coming in, and Crane Bank, is there hope that we are likely to see Crane Bank as we used to know it before? Do you think, from where you sit?
Well, according to the judging yesterday, they said actually it is going to take, with immediate effect. So definitely we're going to see, Crane Bank coming back on board. Yeah.
And for the banks that were closed in the similar manner, if we are to remember banks like, say, Cooperative Bank, Greenland Bank, that were closed in the same manner, does this give them hope that maybe they'll also win in this similar manner?
In fact, they have been, demanding